time is now 4:30. Please stand for the pledge as we begin our meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We have to begin today a big celebration, so I'm going to hand it over to Chief Carter Mook.
Thank you. Corporal Graham Perkins is assigned full-time to the Patrol Division as a supervisor on the 1st Platoon. He's also a member of the department's SWAT team. Over the course of 2022 and 2023, Corporal Perkins has taken on the added responsibility to apply for grant funding for multiple projects for the police department. The grant writing responsibility is oftentimes the duty of a full-time grant writer. Millcreek Township does not have that luxury. However, Corporal Perkins used his initiative and superior writing skills to apply for several grants. The following were ultimately approved. $5,000 AHN Highmark Health grant for patrol vehicle trauma bags and first aid kits. $312,000 PA DCED grant for the Lenco Bearcat vehicle. $249,000 from the PCCD for the department's COAST program. $560,000 from the PCCD for the Millcreek Township Gun Violence Initiative, which has helped us to implement active or proactive patrol overlap shifts and a dedicated detective to investigate gun violence cases. $152,000 from the PCCD for body-worn camera and mobile video recording hardware and software upgrades. $10,000 from the PCCD for the Millcreek Township Police Recruitment Initiative. This totals nearly $1.3 million, and we have other projects in the works, and this number will undoubtedly continue to climb. The COAST grant has fundamentally changed our response to those persons with substance use and/or mental health disorders. The program has been so successful that other police departments are looking to copy our model in partnership with Safe Harbor. The Lenco Bearcat tactical response vehicle was utilized soon after its implementation in the officer-involved shooting this past summer on East Score Road and house fire. Detective Corporal Green has been assigned nearly 100 cases since he began working exclusively gun violence in April. And this has resulted in both several arrests and has relieved the caseload burdens of the other detectives. We have received the latest technology for mobile video recording and body-worn camera hardware and software. And we will soon be hiring a new officer, and the recruitment incentive grant has helped us navigate through a very difficult hiring environment. For the hard work and dedication in making a stronger MPD, I'm pleased to announce that the 2023 MPD Employee of the Year is Corporal Graham Perkins.
Congratulations, Mr. Perkins, also known as Grant Perkins, for all the grants. One last note I will say is I was an English teacher for 18 years, in case you didn't know, and Mr. Perkins' writing would have resulted in an A+. Absolutely, yes. Great use of adverbs. So proud of you. One more round of applause, maybe? Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, we have public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications. Is there any public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications? Hearing none, I'll move on to the approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
And I'll second that.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing that there is none, I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. And now we move on to approval of the bills. Do I have a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. Now we're moving to item 7, public hearing on subdivision and land development plans. We're going to have Mr. Waldinger speak first.
Okay, thank you. Yes, the first item is a replot of the lands of Douglas W. and Tamara R. Bagnoni. It's a subdivision plan to show the creation of a 0.75 acre lot known as Parcel A from 2407 Norcross Road, which is to become an integral part of 5307 Chadwick Road, creating a 1.63 acre lot with a residual lot of 0.68 acres along the east line of Chadwick Road, south of Norcross Road, in Tract 333. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, the Millcreek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision with the condition that the 0.75 acre Parcel A become an integral part of 5307 Chadwick Road. This would require the board to grant a modification to Section 125-89O of the Subdivision and Land Development Ordinance, which the Planning Commission also recommended. Their reasoning for recommending a modification is that the net result in this case would match the existing condition. Presently, one of the lots is smaller than that would be required under 125-89O, and the other is larger. This subdivision would, in effect, swap those two parcels, with the compliant lot now being smaller and the smaller lot now being compliant. It should be noted, so that both the board and the applicant is aware, that if granted, this larger lot cannot be further subdivided in the future, as the requirements of 125-89O would no longer be met.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. I will now open up the hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of the subdivision plan? You do not have to state your address, but if you could please just state your name and then you can write it in.
Sure. My name is Eric Soder. Thank you for having me here. I am the neighbor of Mr. Bagnoni that's down on Norcross Road seeking to purchase the 3/4 of an acre. I brought my wife Jenna and a couple of neighbors here with me for support if need be. And yeah, so basically all I seek to do is to virtually swap 3/4 from Mr. Bagnoni to myself, and I have no future plans for the land other than to create privacy for my family and kids, spruce it up a little bit, do some trimming, mow the lawn regularly, that type of thing, and that's really about it, just in case he ever sells in the future, you know, or whatever. His property comes about 10 feet off of my home, so this would just protect privacy.
Okay.
That's about it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any questions?
I don't have any, no.
Okay.
No.
Is there anyone else here to speak? Okay, seeing no one else, I will go ahead and close the hearing. Any other comment?
Sure. If I could just remind the supervisors that under Section 125-38, you are authorized to allow modifications of the saldo. There are a number of factors to be considered, which would include existence of physical conditions or circumstances pertaining to the land, involved in the proposed development as they may warrant modification of general regulations, general and specific planning objectives as they may be served or hindered by the request, potential savings in developmental and future acquisition costs resulting from the request, benefits to the proposed development, the township or any portion of the township resulting should the request be allowed, features, additions, or other benefits offered by the applicant in connection with the request, whether the request is consistent with township application of development regulations, the present and foreseeable uses, development, streets, or other improvements within and in the general vicinity of the land, and zoning uses and density of the proposed development and adjacent lands. And the provision that they're seeking modification for, as I understand it, essentially prohibits subdivisions that would result in parcels that are, I think it's less than half of what the average of the parcels are. And in this case, it obviously would occur, but as they indicated, it's simply a switching of a condition that currently exists and, in my opinion, would or could qualify as one of the conditions that are identified or considerations that are identified for considering whether to grant this modification. So I think it's within your discretion to do so. It's from that perspective.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Shaw. Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to approve the replot of the lands of Douglas and Tamara Bagnoni?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. And is there a discussion? Seeing there's no discussion, Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, now we have the subdivision plan for part of the land of Westminster Place Partnership, small subdivision plan. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. This is a subdivision plan to show the creation of a 215-foot by 200-foot parcel A from tax parcel ID 33140418030, resulting in a residual lot of 8.746 acres located along the north line of Zimmerly Road, west of Zook Road in Tract 348. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, the Millcreek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this subdivision.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. Okay, I will open up the hearing, and it looks like we have someone to go ahead and speak on this, on behalf of this.
Good afternoon. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. This is really a...
If you could just state your name, too, for the record.
Mike Sanford?
I know who you are. I'm sorry, Mike.
No problem.
Go ahead.
So basically, it's a one-lot subdivision. They have frontage on Zimmerly Road. They'd like to subdivide this one lot, create it as a new tax parcel, and then next on the agenda is what we'd like to do with it.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Sanford. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, I will go ahead and close the hearing. Any discussion?
No.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the subdivision plan for the Westminster Place Partnership?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Olet made a motion, and it was seconded by Mr. Bach. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mr. Bach?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. And our final subdivision and land development plan is for the Dollar General. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. This is a land development plan to show the construction of a 10,640 square foot retail business establishment on the newly created parcel A with associated stormwater management facilities and off-street parking, also located along the north line of Zimmerly Road, west of Zook Road in Tract 348. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, January 9th, 2024, the Millcreek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this land development plan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. I will go ahead and open up the hearing. Anyone here to speak on behalf?
Good evening. Mike Sanford again. So this is a land development plan for a retail building on the north side of Zimmerly Road. We have our driveway permit from PennDOT for a full-action driveway. Of course, we've submitted our stormwater calculations to the consulting engineer and our permitting to the Conservation District. We're waiting for all those things to come back, but we look forward to a good project and looking forward to your approval. Not aware of any variances or modifications being asked for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanford. Anyone else here to speak on behalf or against? I should say. Okay, seeing none, I will go ahead and close the hearing.
I have a question for Mr. Sanford.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Bach.
Mike, there's access to that property, I believe, from the bank parking lot
That's
on
correct.
Zook. Is that, once this is constructed, is that going to, what's this plan for that access?
The Westminster Place Partnership owns the residue parcel, so the balance of what would be around or north of Dollar General. So they have ideas of what they want to do with their property, but we haven't come to a conclusion. I've done multitude of concepts, but we haven't got there. But Dollar General, in my mind, would come and go from Zimmerly Road. So the balance of this property is zoned what it is. We're exploring opportunity. But you're right, a few years ago, they negotiated with the credit union to have access to get to the light at Zook Road, which would just be infinitely better for that residue. But no plans for the residue yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the land development plan for the Dollar General on Zimmerly Road?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. Any other discussion? Then I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. The motion carries.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we are moving on now to bids and quotations. We have a cost reduction services through the administration and IT department. And at this, I'm not sure if Mr. Shaw wants to speak or I can. Okay. There is a service that we are looking into for some cost reduction, duplication of services, et cetera, here at the township. And we have a little bit more homework that we need to do, I think, on that and some more questions. So I guess I'm going to look for a motion to table this.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay, motion was made to table by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Thank you. New and amended ordinances under review. We have the subdivision and land development ordinance saldo amendment. And I will shoot this over to Attorney Shaw.
Sure, this is a long-awaited amendment for the saldo. It is still being reviewed by engineering. Hopefully that'll get wrapped up soon so we can move forward.
Great. Thank you very much. Next, we have financial security release requests. And we have the Westridge Estates Phase 1. And I will ask Mr. Waldinger to speak.
Thank you again. Yes, the developer, Westridge Estates Realty LLC, is the developer of Westridge Estates Phase 1. They've completed all required public improvements for their land development, and they're requesting that their financial security be released. In front of you is a couple of things. One is a form signed by the township engineer indicating that they've completed all of the work required. There's also a letter from Greenman Peterson Incorporated, the township's contracted third-party engineering firm, indicating their stormwater management has been built according to plan. So at this time, we would like to recommend that the board release Erie Bank Letter of Credit number 1618 in the amount of $120,720.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. Any questions?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve the Westridge Estates request?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Bach and seconded by Mr. Olet. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. The other financial security request is for the Value Store Sessler Self-Storage Project. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. The developer of this project, Robert W. and Elise E. Sessler, have asked for release of their letter of credit for the Value Store Sessler Self-Storage, as they've completed all of their public improvements. Similar to the last item in front of you is the form from the township engineer, as well as a letter from GPI indicating everything has been completed. So at this time, we would recommend releasing the financial security, which is Marquette check number 803380, in the amount of $3,614.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger.
Excuse me, Mr. Waldinger, just a question. That's reducing the present amount of 36,144 to 3,614?
I'm sorry. So, no, they are currently, it was reduced to 3,614 in September of 2011. And so that is the remaining amount in the full, that would be released in full now.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the Value Store Sessler request?
So moved.
I'll second.
Open it up for discussion. Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. Number 11 on our agenda is sidewalk deferral request at 6026 Schultz Road from Alan and Rebecca Yingling. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. Yes, as you mentioned, Alan and Rebecca Yingling are building a new single-family home at 6026 Schultz Road, and they are seeking to defer construction of their sidewalk at this time. There are no other sidewalks in the area and no plans for the township to install them. They have submitted, and in front of you is a township form for a sidewalk deferral where they agree to the conditions that they would install it at such time as it would be required. And so I would recommend that the board approve this sidewalk deferral.
Thank you very much, Mr. Waldinger. Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the sidewalk deferral request on Schultz Road?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. Any discussion? I will call for the vote then. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Number 12 on our agenda is the Erie Waterworks Board recommendation, and I am going to send this over to Supervisor Jim Bach.
Thank you, Kim. We were tasked with nominating someone to, or recommending someone to fill the vacant Erie Waterworks Board position that is currently held by Mr. Bizzarro. He has retired from that role, so that hence an opening. So we are recommending to nominate Heather A. Harrington, a Millcreek resident, and she is an attorney at the Quinn Law Firm. She comes highly recommended with a lot of experience and credentials, and is eager to serve in this role at Erie Waterworks. So my understanding is then we forward her name to City Council for them to take it from there. So after we formally vote on this, then we will notify City Council tomorrow and
Okay,
let them know that they will probably have a new board member.
great. Okay.
I don't know if anyone knows Heather or, no?
I would only note that I think the way the agreement works is the Millcreek Supervisors can recommend someone.
Recommend, yes.
The city's not obligated to select that person, so we can only do so much.
Right,
But it's
we're
not-
fulfilling our obligation here, so,
But it's nice that we have a voice on at Erie Waterworks
yes.
and a set of eyes from Millcreek Township, so,
Yes.
okay, great.
So I would like to make a motion to send the recommendation of Heather A. Harrington
Okay.
forward.
Okay, and I'll second.
Okay, I will ask for a vote then. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes?
And I also vote yes. Motion to recommend carries. Next up, we have a grant application, the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, PCCD Gun Violence Grant from the MPD. Chief Book.
Thanks. The grant application period closes in March for the next round of the PCCD's gun violence grant funding for municipal departments. Detective Green has been assigned since April 17th of '23 to investigate gun violence cases for the department, and his position is fully funded via the gun violence grant until the end of this year. Detective Green to date has been assigned approximately 100 cases with several arrests made. His caseload has lessened the workload in investigations to allow more time and more work to be done by the other adult crime detectives. If approved, the funding would cover 1/2 the salary and benefits for Green's position until September 30th of 2026. I recommend the application be moved forward.
Thank you very much, Chief Mook. Any questions for Chief Mook?
None here.
Okay. Then I will ask for a motion to approve the application for the gun violence grant.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it was, motion made by Mr. Olet, seconded by Mr. Bach. And Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. Okay, next we have communications. And first up will be Ms. Melanie Page with Treasurer Communications.
I have nothing at this time.
Thank you very much. We also have some communications coming from our Community Relations and Sustainability.
Good
And that would be
evening.
Ms. Jessica Stutzman.
Thank you. I'm going to start. I've got 2 trainings, so I'm going to start with the conference first. I am requesting permission for 3 CRS employees to attend PROP, the Professional Recyclers of Pennsylvania, continuing education classes at the 2024 PROP Conference in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, July 23rd through the 26th, in order to obtain and maintain our PROP certifications. Monday, July 22nd will be used as a travel day, and the use of a township vehicle is requested. The member rate of the PROP conference is $700 per person with a 4-night hotel stay, and meals and incidentals were calculated by gsa.gov for 2 travel days and 3 full conference days. A total of $4,872 is being requested for this educational conference, and this was budgeted under the CRS items, line items, training and travel.
Is that your, do you have 2 requests?
Yes.
Do you want to do the other one?
Sure.
Or is the board comfortable with doing both requests? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We are also requesting permission for 1 CRS employee to attend Professional Recyclers of Pennsylvania's continuing education classes virtually on March 13th and 14th in order to obtain a PROP certification. The classes are Recycling 110, 115, and 150, Recycling in the Law, Public Policy, and Recycling Economics. The rate for this 3-part class is $505 with our membership status, and this training has been budgeted for under the 2024 line item training expense.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions for Ms. Stutzman?
None here.
Okay, seeing none, do I have someone to make a motion to approve the requests?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Bach and seconded by Mr. Olet. Any discussion? All right, we'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next are the training and travel requests from the MPD.
First is a travel request that's being made retroactively. The FBI had requested assistance from MPD officers assigned to the Eagle Task Force, Detectives Buckner, Katerna, and Fennell, to assist with a warrant sweep operation in West Virginia that started yesterday and was estimated to take 1 to 2 days after that. The FBI is reimbursing the expenses for the trip after its conclusion directly to each officer. The officers will then reimburse the township. Total travel expenses are $1,084.50. This encompasses a hotel stay and per diems. Training request, the National Tactical Officers Association is hosting an online training course on January 30th where a Pittsburgh PD SWAT incident debriefing will occur. The trainer will be their commander, the Pittsburgh SWAT commander, Lieutenant Steve Meskin. The situation involved a shootout with their tactical team and a homicide suspect. Due to the nature of the training and the quality of the trainer, Lieutenant Meskin is one of the most well-respected SWAT commanders and SWAT trainers in the country. I recommend that our SWAT leadership team be approved for the course. Total tuition is $380 for the 5 officers to attend: Lieutenant Hardner, Lieutenant Haynes, Sergeant Panighetti, Corporal Caldwell, and Corporal Henderson.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Chief Mook? Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet, seconded by Mr. Bach. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Next, we have in Planning and Development a training request.
Thank you. I'm seeking permission for GIS Coordinator Matthew Puda to attend Trimble's Innovate Conference from May 14th through 16th, 2024 in Cleveland, Ohio. Trimble is the developer of the CityWorks software that the township will be deploying in 2024 to manage our infrastructure assets. This conference will be a good educational and network opportunity for Matt as he rolls out CityWorks across our network. Lodging for this the travel would be $352.50. Mileage will be reimbursed at a cost of $127.30, and per diem will be $172.50 for a total travel cost of $625.30. Early bird conference registration is $800. However, our CityWorks sales manager is requesting a complimentary registration for Millcreek, and if received, would reduce the registration cost to $0. I recommend that Mr. Puda be authorized to attend the conference, with travel being paid from the Planning and Development travel budget, and conference registration, if necessary, to be paid from the Planning and Development's training budget.
Great, thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Waldinger?
None here.
No.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. And our final training comes from Parks and Rec Department, Ms. Ashley Marsteller.
Hello. This request is for approval for myself to attend the annual Pennsylvania Park and Rec Society Conference, which this year is being hosted at Seven Springs Mountain Resorts in Seven Springs, Pennsylvania. The conference is being held March 12th through 17th. The conference offers 50 different educational sessions on a variety of field and professional related topics, networking opportunities, a vendor exhibition, and opportunities for continuing education as well. I've attended this conference several times in the past and have always found it extremely beneficial and useful on Parks and Rec related topics in continuing education. I'm requesting permission to travel to this conference with use of a township vehicle. I'm also requesting the conference registration fee of $400 to be covered as a training expense, which is included under the Parks and Recreation Department's operational budget. The conference fee includes all meals, and then I'm also requesting lodging for the conference at the Seven Springs Resorts for 4 nights at $176.49 a night for a total of $705.96 in lodging. The total expense for this conference with registration fees and lodging comes to $1,105.96. This would leave a balance of $3,894.04 in the training line of the Parks and Recreation operational budget.
Great.
So I'm recommending approval to attend the PRPS conference.
You always come back from that so revived
I do.
and ready.
Yes, it's a great experience.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for Ms. Marsteller?
No.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Bach and seconded by Mr. Olet. Any discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
I do believe that Community Relations and Sustainability has another communication.
Yes, I just wanted to give an update on Millfair's community impact since we were able to run our reports for the 2023 season. In 2023, the Millfair Compost Center, which is jointly operated by Millcreek and Fairview Township, distributed 6,641 cubic yards of organic material back into our community after taking in 23,456 cubic yards, which equals 5,864 tons of material, which was diverted from the Lakeview landfill. Overall, our site was visited by 23,107 people, and the Millfair Compost Center will reopen for the 2024 season on Monday, March 11th.
Wonderful. As an avid supporter and user of Millfair, I honestly did not know much about it, as even though I was a Mill Creek resident for years. I obviously wasn't reading the magazine, I'm sorry. But I myself got 2 cubic yards and used that for my garden this year, and it was the most successful, and I know it's from Millfair, so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, and so the opening date of Millfair for everyone is March 11th. March 11th will be opening day. I know we've been getting a lot of calls about where people can take their sticks and some of their leaves and things like that from some of the storms. So hang on to those, and you can bring them by so that we can make compost for your garden. The only other communication I wanted to give was just on the retreat that was held on January 15th of 2024, which was last Monday. And I just wanted to, make a few notes. The real discussions have been surrounding our employees and what are we doing for our employees to help them communicate with them better, to help them grow, and to support them. We went through our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities and threats from the outside. And the common theme really came to trust, morale, training, development. And so we have decided, in Millcreek Township, this is the second year that we are doing this. And we've made a thematic goal to cultivate trust and accountability across the organization. And I think that all of us in the room are committed to that, and making sure that we're training all of our employees on how to hold accountable, and that'll increase trust. Make sure that we're staying engaged. We have coaching programs, FaceTime that we are making sure we are giving our 200 employees so that they know they're being heard, and make sure that we are clear about our roles and what those expectations are. So I'm excited for the year ahead, 2024. So that was just my update. We had executive session take place on January 11th of 2024. We discussed real estate matters related to park and rec facilities. We discussed litigation matters related to federal lawsuits, and we also discussed personnel matters. On January 18th of 2024, we also had an executive session, and we discussed real estate matters related to parks and rec facilities and easements. We discussed litigation matters related to Stantec claimed change order, and we also discussed personnel matters. We now are going to go to solicitor communications.
The only thing I would mention is we had a fire commission meeting last week. The fire commission did pass a number of recommendations. I'm going to work with the secretary of the commission to make sure I get all the wording right, and I'll be passing those along to the supervisors shortly.
Great. Thank you very much. And we have our student ambassador here today, Anthony Madursky. Hello, Mr. Madursky.
Thank you very much. So there's about 2 things I'd like to talk about. So currently in McDowell, we are kind of getting back up and running because our second semester started yesterday, actually, I believe the 22nd. So we're just things are kind of up and running, and it's not confirmed, but I did hear a rumor from one of the faculty members that Millcreek Township, not Millcreek Township, I apologize, Education Board is thinking about changing our schedule, because currently right now at McDowell, the schedules are set up to where there's 4 class periods a day, all about an hour and a half long, maybe a little bit less. They're thinking about changing it to an 8-period schedule, right, which is kind of a big change. And as someone who has previously went to a high school that has a eight period schedule, I must say that it's probably not the best change for our educational program because it doesn't allow a lot of students to double up on classes, and I myself have done that before because I wanted to catch up. For example, one of the classes I'm in, one of the higher level classes, I guess you should say, a physics course. You can't take that course unless you've have taken calculus because it's a very demanding class. It's very for like the quote unquote cream of the crop, as the professor likes to put it, and because of that new schedule, some people wouldn't have been able to take the course due to like the way things line up. So it's just kind of the way things are working out. Like I said, I'm not sure at the moment if it is confirmed, but in my personal opinion, I must say that I do not agree with that course of action. Nothing else for me today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Majerski.
Very welcome.
I attended a high school, actually I taught at McDowell, as you know, and I personally am not a fan of your semester schedule. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that up here. But just when you get to know the student, they leave you in January, and then you get a whole new group of students. And again, trust is so important in relationship building and in learning. So I had even given the recommendation of every other day, the A-B schedule.
Yeah, because that was how things were. I'm not sure how long ago the switch was made.
Yeah.
But a couple years ago, that's how it used to be.
Yes.
The A and B days. I never experienced those. I can't really give my thoughts on it. But it's whatever. It's not my decision to make. But either way, I'd have to support.
But you have a voice, Mr. Majerski. You use it.
Thank you. I suppose I should do my best then.
Great job.
Thank you very much.
Never.
What? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you're a senior, right?
Yes, I am. So I couldn't have nothing to say
You're
anyway.
a short
because-
timer. You only got
Yeah, I only got a semester
you got
left.
4 months to go, and then you're out of there.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Before I hand it over to citizens to be heard, I do want to make sure that everyone is aware and has on their calendar, April 8th is the eclipse. And we are one of the few places in the nation where you are going to be able to see this eclipse. We have, most schools are going to only operate on a half day or not operate at all. Even daycares are looking at closing because we are expecting heavy traffic, a lot of people coming in from out of town. It should be very exciting that we'll be able to see. I had a presentation today on that. So our message is to our residents, the best view is from your backyard. But there will be other things going on and where we will be having many visitors. So just begin to plan accordingly for April 8th. Don't get surgery done on April 8th. How about that? Okay, now citizens to be heard. You just need to state your name for the record. And you will have 5 minutes, sir.
Okay. My name is Scott Kelso, and I did attend the Fire Commission meeting that Attorney Shaw was mentioning. And I had questions for the Fire Commission and got no answers, so the buck stops here, so I'm here to ask you guys. We pay for a fire tax for a fire department, and basically what's happening is you're going to be asking the residents to pay donations to the volunteers. So my question was, why we're going to be paying for 2 fire departments? So if somebody can come up with a response for the residents, it'd be nice. 2, I also asked about our response time. So like we had a major incident in Millcreek Township with the call-in time. City of Erie, they have 30 minutes. Also, City of Erie firefighters live 15 miles within City Hall, from City Hall. When asked Chief Cliff this question, we don't have anything. So again, to protect the citizens with our paid fire department, I think that it's only right that we should get answers on these questions.
What was your second question? Scott?
Second question is, the City of Erie, for their fire department, you have to live within 15 miles of City Hall.
Gotcha.
So when I asked about that, we don't have anything.
Okay.
And then the second question to that was about call-in times. City of Erie, if they have a major fire or an incident, they can call in their off-duty firefighters. They have 30 minutes to respond. Millcreek, we have nothing.
Okay. No protocol, you're saying?
Yeah. There's nothing at all.
Okay.
And then we're talking about the items that Attorney Shaw is going to present you with from the Fire Commission meeting. Some of the ideas, that's policy. That would be left up to the fire chief. But some of the ideas, if you merge all the fire departments together, like you were saying, and that Millcreek's going to be paying for all of our bills, that's going to put a burden on the residents. Also, you're still going to be, he's talking about filing for a 501c3, which the volunteer fire departments have, which is non-charitable or non-profit. What's going to happen then is you're still going to be going back to the residents, asking for more money when we're paying taxes for a paid service already. So, just be nice to get some answers to these questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. Are there any other citizens to be heard? Scott, if you want to give one of us a phone call, I'd be happy to sit down and discuss with you. I try to open that up to anyone that comes here to speak, but to see if we can get some answers to some of your questions.
I appreciate it.
Okay, sure. Hello. Please state your name for the audience, for the record.
Dennis McAndrew.
Hello, Dennis.
You probably unfortunately know me all too well.
That's a good thing.
Sure. On a positive note, for one, I'm quick to complain, but also point, I wanted to noted, I thought the township street department with the snowstorm, then the snowstorm, and the windstorm, snowstorm, I thought they've done an excellent job keeping up, and it has been noticed. Wanted that on record. Of course, I sound like a dog with an old bone here, but you had someone just complaining about paying for the fire department and paying for taxes and expecting us to give money. I'm still on this. 911, you just had a thing about doing IT, about being, looking into duplication of service. I still think 911 is a duplication. As a county taxpayer, I pay for it. As a person that owns several phones, pay for it. As a Millcreek Township payer, pay for 911 and the dispatch. You guys, while you're doing the review on other duplications of service, I think you should look in, not that the dispatch don't do a good job and all that, but just because you've always done it that way doesn't mean it always should be done that way. And I know you're not the existing supervisor, but years ago, the story was when county got 911 up, they were going to take over. It's good enough for the fire department. It's going to be good enough for the paid department. Why is it not good enough for you guys yet? You want to cut costs. You have a limited piggy bank. Can't keep expecting us taxpayers to pay for everything over and over in multiple ways. And now that you have a paid department, on the paycheck where everyone pays $1 a week for $52 a year that's supposed to go to help pay for fire and EMS, now that you have a paid department, is the township going to repeal that? Or are you going to take money and give it to some other people? Something to think about. Because that tax is supposed to be because we have volunteer. Now you have both. I don't think you're allowed to keep taxing for it.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis. Any other citizens to be heard? Okay. I was going to try to close then with one more on my soapbox. I want to thank, speaking of our employees, I want to thank every one of our public safety employees, the people in streets department, in our sewer department, even our mechanics that are keeping these snow plows going, our police department, our fire department. There have been a lot of emergencies over the last few weeks with wind and weather, snow, ice, and we cannot thank them enough for all that they are doing to keep us safe out there. I mean, that's truly what Millcreek Township does, and that's what our employees are here to do, provide service and keep you safe. And I'm so proud of our departments for doing that. So I actually took pictures, not while I was driving, when I was at a stoplight, of our roads compared to others. and then would send them out like, I know who did this road. So anyway, it's great. So I offer them a round of applause to our streets department. Okay, all right. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And it is now 5:20, and we are adjourned. Thank you very much.